All right, let's see if this thing works. This better work, I tell you what. Let's see. It's going to try it. All right, here we go. Grrrrr, grrrrr, greetings, humans. Greetings, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode. Bear here, 29-year veteran of the woods, and today, boy, we've got a show for you here today. Actually, I hope we have a good show for you here today. Bear just kind of clobbered this together here real quick. Actually, kind of his first kind of story. Man, oh man, I was gonna go kind of all out about this, but I don't know. It's kind of one of these things where I don't know where people's humor is. This is gonna be kind of a show with questionable humor. We're going to question Bear's humor and also question humor as well. So actually had this kind of funny news story up here right away to kind of get to. Let's see, let me get to it here real quick, if I can, because I think we've finally discovered why everybody's kind of going crazy and everything. So let me click off of this here real quick, and you do this, and you click that. And you click there and you find out, oh my god, X-rays from Uranus are discovered. That's right, March 31st, 2021, Harvard Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics. Astronomers have detected X-rays from Uranus using NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory. This result may help scientists learn more about this enigmatic ice giant planet. Oh, it's a planet. I didn't know that. In our solar system. Oh, well, look at there. Oh, boy, Bear's got egg on his face now because I tell you what, it's a planet. I thought X-rays were coming out of the bottom there. I guess not. They've got some weird names for planets these days. Maybe the mysterious planet X would be, Planet Bunghole. Who knows? I thought maybe that might be humorous, but I don't know. Your mileage may vary on the amount of scatological humor you get from Bear here. So there we are. I just want. I just wanted to do that. X-rays discovered from Uranus. I thought that was one of the great headlines from the past week or so. I mean, I tell you what, it's been one of those things where it's just been crazy. Everything's been crazy. So finding out that X-rays coming from Uranus might not be that absurd, but you never know. You never know. All right, let me get out of that. Go to our main story here. We were trying to talk about this last week. Oh boy, I tell you what, last week it was a cornucopia, an embarrassment of riches as far as topics go and everything. So we finally got done with our It Can't Happen Here kind of storyline and everything. So if you want to check that out, kind of go back and check that out. But we were trying to get to this story last week, and it just didn't have time to do it. So we're gonna kind of go through it here just real quickly because we kind of thought it was a good jumping off point for talking about what we're going to kind of talk about here today. We're actually going to kind of get into a little bit kind of the difference between a consumer and a customer. Kind of hey, what's the difference between the two? So you got to go check that out and everything. All right. Oh my gosh, I'm not paying attention to the chat. Hello, Marco483. Yes, X-Ray. P Money says, yes, Canada is here to let us all rejoice. Pour out the maple syrup on the back of bacon and drink some Molson. P Money, we missed you last time because we were trying to sing the Canadian national anthem. Beer only got maybe like 2 or 3 bars into it, and then your national anthem isn't that memorable. I gotta say, "Oh Canada." I mean, that comes out pretty good, but I'm not sure where the maple syrup and the tuna. Listen to me, the salmon comes from. Not really sure where that fits in as well. So we did sing it. Yes, we did. Well, we tried to sing it. I don't know how well. I don't know how well it would have gone off. I think I would have been thrown out of most Canadian cities. Maybe not Ottawa, but definitely all the other ones. So, anyways, yes, somewhat. Good to see you guys here. So we're gonna just jump right on into it. We were trying to talk about this the last time. The humor in Marvel movies. It makes me want to shoot myself directly in the face. Not Bear. Bear does not want to shoot himself in the face. It's just Freddy DeBoer, and he says, "It is I, the Quipster." Yes, indeed. All right, so let's get into this. Real quick before we get into the kind of the meat. The meat of the matter here is what we got. So I don't know whether to be happy or sad I missed it. You should be sad that you missed it because that was a once in a lifetime opportunity to make fun of Bear and his terrible national anthems. I can do the U.S. national anthem, but not so much the Not so much the Canadian national anthem. All right. Let's see. He says, I am not an out and out hater of Marvel movies, but I don't like them very much. Mostly, I'm kind of indifferent to the movies themselves. That's kind of what Bear's kind of thought is as well. A little indifference. While I worry about their impact on which movies get funded. And he goes into Star Trek. He really likes those. Or Star Trek. Well, Star Wars. Star Trek too, I guess. He says, like everybody else, I think Black Panther is the best one. I'm not really sure. I never really saw Black Panther. I think maybe the first, possibly the second. Definitely the third Iron Man movies were pretty good. I thought the third one was pretty good. I know a lot of people don't like that one, but yes, I don't know. That was kind of one of the I don't know what that reference meant. Bilbo Baggins there. Why are you jumping ahead of Bear? Bear's got his great quips that he comes along and people jump ahead. All right. I think Black Panther. He thinks Black Panther is the best one, but it's also emblematic of the problems with the franchise. And the first 2/3 are a fantastic movie, but he says the last third of that Black Panther is a D+ movie that isn't bad enough to erase all the good that came before it. And I don't know why, but he says it's an intimate family drama that suddenly becomes armies of CGI characters playing grab ass while Bilbo Baggins flies an invisible jet. I don't know where he comes up with that, but I haven't seen the movies. Yuck, Iron Man 2. I thought Iron Man 2 was okay. I mean, it suffered from some of the stuff where oh gosh, once a movie kind of becomes popular and everything, now all the naysayers kind of come back in and say, oh, well, now you got to do this, now you got to do that. So yeah, it kind of what he was kind of going through, the first, who was that? Who was playing the bad guy in that one? It was Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke did a great job in that. I wish he would have done more, but it is what it is. And I'm not a big, what's his name? Sam, not Worthington, Sam, gosh. Anyways, the other bad guy in that movie, I never really got into that actor very much. So, all right, the film takes a turn for the worst because Marvel's cookie-cutter approach to movies dictated that they have to have a pointless and emotionally computer-generated mosh pit. It's true. I mean, it kind of gets weird. Let's see. Yes, okay. But look, I don't hate these movies. Some are more fun than others. And now that they're on Disney Plus, I'll sometimes put them on as I drift off to sleep. That's what you want for Disney Plus, is to drift off to sleep. But I find it is getting harder and harder to do that. What's making these movies close to unwatchable for me these days is the humor. The humor. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Oh, well, he's got a point about the movies in general last time. A movie that did that well at the Academy Awards, do huge at the box office, was The Lord of the Rings. Yeah. I'd say Avatar, maybe. Again, I'm not saying Avatar is the greatest movie in the world, but that's sort of genre, I suppose, in the Academy Award. I don't even know. Hell, I don't even know what is in the Academy. They shouldn't have even had an Academy Awards this year. I mean, it was like they changed it up so you can have like the Netflix and stuff like that in there. I mean, before you couldn't have all that stuff because it was going to be like Trolls 2 and the Birds of Prey movie, and gosh, there was like one or other too, like right in January and February of last year, and that was it. They closed everything up. So yeah, it's kind of weird that the Academy Awards is doing that this year. They should just skip out. I mean, they should just skip out for the next 3 years and just say, okay, this is the best one for the next 3 years. But what does Bear know? All right, where was I? You've seen the movies, so you know the score. In the Marvel Universe, characters communicate primarily through one-liners. He says situation happens, character reacts, and other character responds with a quip. Those jokes are almost the same: deadpan, knowing, condescending, self-impressed. He should say and self-impressed. You are not a writer, sir. Self-impressed. They all demonstrate that the person telling the one-liner is effortlessly cool and totally unconcerned with the situation before them. They're not really jokes most of the time, but dry references to some aspect of the story that doesn't really depend on setup and payoff, but rather assumes that a superhero talking like a member of college improv troupe is inherently humorous, and that's a really long sentence. And yes, that's all the same. Yes, there are only jokes that Tony Stark could tell, and jokes only Captain America could tell. but in a majority of the cases, the characters telling the joke could be switched to someone else in the scene with no issue, as the jokes aren't actually indicators of personality at all. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And he says, as time goes on, it gets more and more and more. Oh, it gets me more and more, and now feels like someone has struck the claw of the hammer into his nostrils and giving it a quick tug. Every joke. That's got hurt. That's got hurt. The biggest thing is that I just don't find any of these jokes funny, much like Bear's kind of attempt at humor and x-rays coming from Uranus. The aren't I clever, aren't I cool, aren't I cute school of wordplay is not something I have a lot of tolerance for in general these days. Yes, indeed. My immediate response to most of these Marvel quips is, yes, we're all very impressed. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Yes, indeed. With every dropping clever lines on social media, the explosion of podcasts that amount to people hanging out and making fun of each other. That's kind of what we do here. And the general sense that comedy has been democratized, while comedic talent certainly has not. And Bear can attest to that. I'm just worn out by the constant feeling of being in a basement, watching a movie while a bunch of 13-year-olds try to do the Mystery Science Theater 3000 routine for the first time. Does everyone have to be the funny one now? Does everyone feel the need to fill every science with a vaguely joke-like utterance? It's tiring. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I was going to try and come up with a good joke-like utterance, but it's running away from Bear. All right, let's see. Let's see. Marco For Anthony says, because they still need a show where they can celebrate themselves. Oh, he's talking about the Academy Awards, regardless of whether they have actually any good films, acting, etc. Yes, indeed. Actually, the first Academy Award was just kind of a dinner. Basically, the Academy Awards is a industry show, So I mean, think of any industry out there where they kind of, okay, so-and-so did the best of this year, so-and-so sold the most toilets this year. So congratulations, sir. You're the best toilet seller. So, that's kind of what the Oscars are. It's not really any indication on what people like. It's what people that have already won an Academy Award like, and they vote on for. Actually, not even won an Academy Award. They actually opened it up to just like random people. Like, here, you can vote on the Academy Award now. So I don't know how that fits. All right, let's see. They actually had enough movies in 2020 to do an award. Yeah, I know. They're Trolls 2. Yeah. God, I hope Trolls 2 wins. I sure hope so. That would be funny. That would be funny. See, that actually is more funny than some Marvel movies. All right, there are some more layers to this. The first and rigid regularity of the jokes in these movies. You could watch a Marvel movie and take out a stopwatch and time out how long passes between each joke. I think you'll be amazed at how consistent they come, even in the grand finales of many of these movies. The creators of these movies seem to be terrified that there isn't a mandatory quip break every 12 to 16 minutes. The audience will forget they're having fun. Oh, I forgot. The problem is that different movies have different plots, and some points in some films would be awkward and inappropriate to put a joke beat in according to a schedule. And that's what we get. All too often, a humor beat that's awkward and inappropriate. Comedy has to organically fit a plot moment. Obligatory humor just doesn't make much sense. Yes. And he actually kind of goes on, talks about Thor Ragnarok being kind of the exception, because actually it was more of a comedy movie, put into kind of the superhero genre and everything. So there you go. There's Bear never saw. I don't like the director very much. I think he is well, I'll just keep it to Bear's self, but not a good person. Let's just put it that way. All right. The second issue is that everyone else tells these jokes. Oh my God, everyone. In 25 or whatever movies, there's like 5 major characters that never quip. Characters are not only from different countries and backgrounds and ideologies, but different species. And yet everyone drops the same kind of one-liners. Aunt May is dropping her best singers in these movies. Aunt May! The straight man was such a commonplace in comedy. I don't know if you can have straight men in comedy. The straight man was such a commonplace in comedy for so long because it works. You have to have a square character to bounce the humor off of. Now everybody is the wacky jester. In real life, everyone is not an insult comic, even Bear. Everyone is not firing off snappy material all the time. I can tell you that. It makes the character in superhero movies, already swollen and unsympathetic, seem even more cartoonish and hard to connect with. Let's see. And it goes on. It says, but it all makes sense if you understand that these. This is important. But it all makes sense if you understand that these are assembly line movies made by a creative team that is risk averse above everything else, above and beyond it. Let me read that again. But it makes sense. These are such long sentences. I tell you what. But it all makes sense if you understand that these are assembly line movies made by a creative team that is risk averse above and beyond anything else. You make every character tell quips, even when it makes no sense, because you've made every character in the previous movies tell quips, and they've all made $1 billion. And that's what the real issue behind all of this is. Homogeny. Yes, homogeny. I know, I'm not breaking new ground here, but the MCU movies are built by a machine that feels compelled to sand away the idiosyncrasies and quirks that make movies actually interesting. Excuse me. Make movies actually interesting out of a fear that the difference will hurt the box office. You can't have a Marvel movie without the relentless jokes for the same reason we didn't see Edgar Wright's Ant-Man. Oh man, I would have loved to have seen that. Or Patty Jenkins' Thor. I'm not sure about that. Because they would have been different. And different is risk. And let's see, Thor. Wasn't Thor done by Kenneth Branagh, I think? I think it was Kenneth Branagh. Anyways. And that's why your favorite movies don't end up on critics' best list. Marvel fans. Oh, I don't know. His sentences are weird. That's why your favorite movies don't end up on best of critics list, Marvel fans, because good movies can only be made with the freedom to fail. I know that sounds like a slam, but it really isn't. Not only is this a clearly calculated decision by Disney, I suspect it's what most comic book movies fans would choose themselves. I don't know about that. We'll get back to that. They'd rather have a franchise full of solid B's than a few A's and a lot of D's. And that's a legitimate choice as a consumer of movies. Me, I find it very depressing. We'll never see a really great Marvel movie because we'll never see one that tries something entirely new. Kevin Feige will never allow it. And finally, Hawkeye says, that's a close shave with a laugh track. Yes, indeed. Let's see, I was going to come back to, what was it that I was going to come back to? I was going to come back to something. Oh, Bear lost his train of thought. You know, the train sometimes just gets off the tracks on Bear's head here and just kind of, falls off the track into the ditch and, explodes into a flame. All the nuns and the orphans in the train. As they're catching fire, and then the clowns come out and try to put out the fire, but the clowns, instead of having water, they have gasoline, so it increases the flames even more, and then the clowns catch on fire, and then they're running around, all on flames and everything, and you're kind of laughing a little bit with the clowns on fire and everything, but of course, now they're burning up more stuff, and it just becomes a mess. All right, let's see. Going back to the chat here. Oh man, there's a whole lot of chat. Let's see. For the best. Winter Soldier. I thought that was. Yeah. I think Winter Soldier. I'm still gonna stand behind Iron Man 3. I think Iron Man 3 out of all the Iron Mans were probably the best, except for the very end. Again, where he kind of goes back to the sort of CGI fest where. God, what was it? It was like 50 different Iron Man suits come out. I thought it was a really good deconstruction of Iron Man because he had to rely on his brains rather than all the suits and all the other stuff. It was kind of a callback to the first one a little bit. So I thought that was pretty good. Let's see. And the first Avengers actually met the hype it had for it. Yeah. Gosh, I've seen bits of Age of Ultron and I couldn't really get into it. Now that formally works in Guardians of the Galaxies, boy, here we go. Bear was never a fan of Guardians of the Galaxies. I'm just not. I'm not a fan of James Gunn. I think he's kind of a weirdo, and best less said. All right, let's see. First Adventures of Iron Man 1. Yes, Guardians 1 is probably next. I'm probably disappointing a lot of people here. I still don't like the idea of finding Aunt May hot. Wasn't she played by Marissa Tomei? I think so. Let's see. People aren't really paying attention to what they're buying as long as it's action. One-liner. Yes. And Thor was directed by Kenneth Branagh. Let's see. Fun fact. Avengers Endgame, the first person who speaks in the movie is Kenneth Branagh. Oh, I didn't know that. Yes, my train keeps derailing. And, yeah, they did try something different. They did for Iron Man 2. Actually, I didn't mind. I know a lot of people are caught up in that. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind that aspect of it being kind of a head fake a little bit. I thought, oh, God, who's the actor? Come on, brain, think. The English actor. I'm trying to remember his name. Anyways, he's supposed to be playing a Chinese guy, and it was actually an English guy all along. I thought that was kind of humorous and funny. I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that so much. Again, it was kind of the sort of the problem that a lot of them have, which is the third act, which is they're never kind of figuring out how to kind of deal with that. They couldn't deal with it with kind of a low key kind of situation. It always has to be this huge battle, this huge destructive thing that kind of goes on and everything. So that was kind of something that was the bear kind of takes a look at. All right, I was going to talk about here we go. And he says here, let me see if I can click onto it. He says that's a legitimate choice as a consumer of movies. A consumer of movies. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit about here today, is what the difference is between a consumer and a customer. So obviously with Disney and huge franchises like the Avengers and all that sort of stuff, even just kind of general Marvel movies, yeah, I would say you're a consumer of that. They really probably don't care what the average audience kind of thinks about. I mean, take a look at Captain Marvel. Everybody was kind of coming out against that, and they never really changed course with that. They just kind of shoved it out, and hey, you better like it or you better not like it. So let me look this up. Let me look up the definition of consumer. A consumer is a person who purchases goods and services for personal use. Understanding what motivates consumers is more critical than ever, I guess. I don't know. And it also goes on to say a purchaser, a buyer, a customer is a great difference. A shopper, a user, an end user, a client, and a patron. Well, we're kind of talking about the different. I didn't get a chance to fit it in with the. Let me go back out of this. Let me do the thing with the thing, and then I'd get the thing. There we are. So I had here customer versus consumer. I didn't have the room to be able to put in either producer or I guess producer would be kind of the same thing. So kind of the difference, what we're talking about here with kind of these large corporations that you got, and you're kind of comparing it to what we have with our good friends here in Comicsgate. And it kind of started out a little bit with with your boys. Oh, hold on. I've actually got now that reminded me. I actually got to kind of get back, although I will. I'll end with your boy Zach. But I did find this kind of funny and interesting. Let me bring this up. And we'll get back to that in just a second. But I got to show this because it actually was pretty funny. Let me do this. You click that, and you click this. And like I said last time, holy cow, we had a huge show the last time, talking about a whole bunch of different comics that were coming out, and one of them was going to be Red Rooster. We were all looking forward to the Red Rooster and seeing what was going on with that. Well, here we are. And it's another update from Mitch and Elizabeth Brightweather on April 1st. And he says, Confessions. Dear backers, it is with a heavy heart and deep regrets that I must inform you that there is no Red Rooster. I knew it all along. Our detractors, internet trolls, and the YouTube gossip channels. That's right. YouTube's #1 gossip channel by a bear. Right here. Yes, indeed. YouTube gossip channels. We're all correct. Yes, we are. All along. Red Rooster Golden Age was an elaborate grift. It was. Elizabeth and I have been in Cabo for the last 2 years. And and I spent the last several months creating detailed Photoshop images to make it look like the campaign was in fulfillment. But we cannot carry on this ruse much longer. I knew it. Bear sussed it out here. Yes, indeed. Even worse, your money has run out and we are now stuck in Mexico. Thankfully, our campaign for the brand new Allegiance Arts, titled for The Saints, will be up and running in just a few weeks. That's right, Cash Grab 2, The Saints. And with your support, we'll be able to make it back across the border. I don't know if you'd want to get back across the border and return to our humble lives in the States. Yes, The Saints may be our grandest project ever, and we're very fortunate that breakout talent like Christian Rosando is willing to work for quote-unquote exposure. And now you can see his credible talents on display below. And we're also happy to announce that Eisner Award winner Mike Barron is scripting the project in exchange for 1,000 Mexican pesos. Holy cow. Oh, it says, please do not tell him about the exchange rate. It's only $48.82. Well, still, I think that's pretty good. Adventure is always on the horizon, and we greatly appreciate your accompanying us on the many exciting journeys ahead. And he says, I hope you've all had a wonderful April Fool's. P.S. 800 packages have been entered into the postal system. Bear was rused there. Yes, he was. All right. I thought that was pretty funny, though. I thought that was pretty funny when it came out, and Bear got a good laugh out of that. So there it is. Kind of neat little cover there. The Saints. Cash Grab 2. The Saints. Yes, there we are. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool with Mitch and Elizabeth. And there was another one as well. Let me get to that real quick before I complete my thought here and talk about Richard C. Meyer. He says, actually, this came up with, I think, the show. I think we were doing the show, and it kind of popped up, and I didn't get to it. Gosh, we did like 8 or 10 of them. I forget however many. So, end of March update. Hi, everyone. Art for $4.99 and POD is now complete. Lettering on $4.99 should be complete by April 4th. That's tomorrow. And we should be ready to go to print. Thanks, Richard C. Meyer. There we are. That doesn't really show very much, but there you are, $4.99. Actually looking really forward to this. Narwhal does some good stuff there, so kind of looking forward to that. And also POD. POD looked pretty good as well. So there we are. But I did want to kind of mention Richard C. Meyer, because he did kind of start off with what we were talking about here with the, let me go back to it. Here we are. With basically kind of the hot dog stand, kind of this hot dog stand idea. And the basic kind of idea behind that was, okay, so you got your Marvel, either your movies or your comics, and they're kind of considering you as a consumer. And, you can consume a product or you cannot, but, the consumer is not always right, but the customer is. So you're trying to get back to kind of more of a customer service focus rather than just general consumers out there. Bear actually saw they're talking about the new Ford Mustang that they're coming out with, and not to get into cars and all this other stuff. That's a whole side subject there, but they're doing a Ford Mustang, which is an electric. And you would think, oh, okay, a Ford Mustang, kind of your two-door sports car. No. It's not a two-door sports car. It's a four-door crossover SUV type SUV with the label Mustang over it, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It kind of buried down into that. They were talking about the consumers that they want to attract, not the people that are already buying the Ford Mustang and it's doing gangbusters and everything. No. They want to totally shove those customers aside and bring on consumers to the Ford Mustang, which they were trying to do as kind of a very progressive urban sort of deal, which was the exact opposite of the people that buy Ford Mustangs. So even the marketing behind that was completely terrible. They were trying to just slap a label on something. Oh, okay, here's a Mustang. Slap. All right, you stupid fools out there, you're going to buy it anyway, so here it is. Oh, well, yeah, sure. Of course, it doesn't make any, car sounds or anything like that because it's an electric car, and it's not really even a car. It's a kind of an SUV, kind of a small SUV. But anyways, that's kind of one of the things where they're, these people at the ivory towers, they try to go and find out new customers or consumers, I should say, rather than trying to hear some of the concerns or maybe compliments or things like that. Hey, here's how we can improve. Whether it be a Ford Mustang, whether it be a comic book, whether it be a hot dog, whatever it may be. You have that sort of direct interaction between however you describe it, customer, consumer. I kind of try to call it customer, although what I was going to try and put on here was also backer as well, or producer, I suppose. So there's a little bit of a difference between the backer and the customer. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, a little bit about the hot dog. I wish I, the past couple of videos, Bears had different images and stuff like that you can flash up. This is pretty much it. I hope you enjoy the old. I'm assuming that's an old man. It could be an old woman, toting the hot dog stand around. But anyways, we're going to talk about that. Let me get back to the chat real quick and see what you guys are saying. Let me see. Client number 9. There is a difference. Yes, there's a difference. Let's see. P Money says, I often wonder about the difference between producer and director. Well, I can get to that in just a second. I've heard about this stupid April Fool's joke. Yeah. I thought it was pretty funny. I thought that was pretty funny. They don't know how to read the room, do they? No. Listen. I mean, look. How many times have we talked about Red Rooster on this on this channel here? I mean, I think Bear is kind of one of the few people that's kind of keeping people up to date on Red Rooster and not giving them too much grief over it and everything. I mean, there's not really. I mean, heck, what am I gonna do? Jump in a time machine and go back? I mean, yes, I can understand it might be in bad taste and everything. I thought it was kind of funny. Oh gosh, I remember face planting when I read this. I said, Mitch, not your best decision. Yeah, where's my chicken book? Yeah, I'm going to be in disagreement with you guys. I thought it was kind of humorous. I think that they know that they're on the downhill slope of everything, that they can, again, I think the big deal with, what was the name of the Allegiance Arts? They're trying to get a little bit more kind of corporate. So again, you can't. It's not like you have a direct line. Even when Mitch was doing some of the shows, kind of early on and everything, where he was showing some of that stuff, and people are asking about the deal with Kelsey and what was going on with that and everything, and there was a whole blow up with that. And I think Mitch kind of just basically checked out of YouTube and everything. So you really didn't have that sort of connection there. You had sort of maybe like a layer or 2 layers between. So you might have some PR people. You might have some lawyers. You might just have some general office workers. You never know. Just kind of in between there, where now you kind of have people, take your pick, go down your list of your Comicsgate people. A little bit more kind of a closer kind of a customer relation rather than a sort of consumer. Again, where Bear can see where you guys come from, where it does seem like, oh, Mitch doesn't care and everything. Totally, I can totally agree with that. I think Mitch was having a little bit of fun with this as well, but differences of opinion, I suppose. Differences of opinion. He says, well, how many books does your boy have to fulfill? I think, let's see, we were doing this the last time, P Money, so I got to check my brain here, but it was they were putting out Expendables. Expendables Go to Hell. I think he had an issue with his. Let's try this again. I think he was having an issue with the fulfillment company, and he was going to be doing it in-house. So I think that might have been a little bit delayed. So he had that one. He had 499. I'm not sure about the other. What was the other one? Impossible Stars. The Impossible Stars. I'm not sure. I never got the. What was the one down in Mexico? I forget the name of that one, but never got. So I don't know if that one's been fulfilled or not. So I think 3, possibly 4, PR people. A few of these other creators could use dedicated PR people because some do a terrible job at it. Yes, indeed. Case in point, the Red Rooster. Oh, you're still waiting for Jawbreakers 3. Holy cow. Oh, I forgot all about Jawbreakers 3. Man, oh man. Let's see, got Jawbreakers 2. I don't think I ever got Jawbreakers 3. Don't think I ever got that one. So that might be something. I don't know when that came out, P Money. So that might be something to kind of kind of check in on. There's a couple comics that Bear's still waiting on here as well that have been really, really, really late. One of the kind of interesting things is there's been a kind of a tick up of people that are watching Bear's what was it called? A Stealing Solo review. So Bear never got the replacement book for that. So I wonder if people are looking for the review of the replacement book or are finding the original book in there as well. So there's some stuff like that. Hey, it's not that big of a deal. I've kind of written off the who is it? The Geeks and Grifters. Who is it? Anyways, the other channel over there that they did that with. It was one of those things. I don't think I'm gonna be getting any more books from them, but that's fine. So no, I don't think PR. I think a lot of it could be dealing with either fulfillment or just general office sort of situations and stuff like that. I can kind of see your points about that, but maybe not PR, but just kind of a general office thing where you're saying kind of, okay, these how would you call it? Backers. These backers have 1, 2, 3 have more kind of pressing concerns rather than this guy who's just kind of, asking about something, okay, so you don't have to dictate all your time on this one, do these 3 instead, that sort of deal. I think that could go well. Maybe some stuff with the promotion as well, but that's kind of hard to do, I guess, with different people. Again, we're going to find out. We're going to find out here pretty shortly, kind of, with the wheat and the chaff. You see a little bit of, you see that with Mitch, in Allegiance Arts. They're starting to go a little bit more of the sort of corporate route. You're seeing Uncle E do a little bit more of that. I've seen on the last thing he was talking about, he's the publisher now of All Caps Comics. So I think that's going off there. You've got the sort of Splato comics with your boy Zach. And I mean, there's a couple of others as well out there, but we're gonna see this sort of separation there between the people that are more corporate minded and some of the people that are more kind of consumer minded. So again, you've got your customer versus your consumer. So somebody like Uncle E, he just did, what was it, $1.2 million, right? So for cyber, oh my God, that's a whole other. I actually have a whole thing on that, but I don't know if we'll get to that today or not. But there. I don't know if, okay, I don't like something about Cyberfrog, or I don't like something that Uncle Lee said. Gosh darn it, I want a refund on that. I'm sure he would. I don't know. I haven't went and taken a look. I don't know if you could do the refunds now or not after the campaign's closed, but let's just say you could for just a second. I'm sure he would be fine. Oh, okay, here's a refund. No worries. Because he has so many other people there that are backing him that, one customer doesn't really matter. It's in his minds, it's just a consumer. It's just, okay, here's another number on the ledger sheet. Oh, okay, we don't have to send that many out to little Timmy McTimerson. Yeah, that's fine. We've got Joe Schmo over here who's ordered the $200 box or whatever. So what difference does losing a $25 customer when you've got the $200 customer there? So you might not listen to that sort of deal because you just got the volume there. You just got the huge volume of people. Whereas some of the smaller kind of independent people, hey, I'm losing 10, 15 backers or something like that. That's kind of a big deal. So they might start to listen and say, hey, okay, what did I do? What should I change about this a little bit? So I think that's a little bit. Let me. Oh my goodness. Here I am talking, and a lot of people are talking as well. I'm not paying attention. Oh, let's see. Hot dog. I will say I do not like when someone says I am a potential customer. The phrase bothers me. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Interesting. A few of these, Marco for Anthony says, a few of these other creators could, oh, yeah, I read that. Let's see. That's true on the fulfillment end, but I'm saying that some creators do a very poor job when it comes to answering questions, complaints. Well, actually, I wish I had my camera turned on here because I do have a whole thing on just that. I don't know if I want to kind of skip what I was going to talk about here, or I don't know. Let me kind of continue here, but if I'm not going to talk about it this stream, I'm definitely going to talk about the next one. I don't think he's shipped Jawbreakers 3 yet. The only problem with reading his updates, though, is he updates on all his books, not just the campaigns you were looking at. Oh, really? I thought that they were kind of individual. I don't know too much about Jawbreakers 3, so I couldn't tell you there, P Money. Let's see. Yikes. Yeah. We're Chatterboxes in here. Ha ha ha. Oh, goodness. All right. Yeah. So, yeah. So, we're talking about the hot dog stand. So your boy kind of came into kind of an idea of talking about comics and the hot dog stand. He just kind of wanted to put out his original Jawbreakers comic book. So what happened is tried to go to one of these outfits, and they says, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure, we'll publish it." And then they got some pushback, and then of course they had to drop your boy Zach. And that's the whole situation behind all that. And it kind of individually became Comicsgate. And the idea behind that was, hey, I just want to serve customers. If somebody wants to buy my comic, I want to sell them the comic. And if they don't want to buy the comic book, I don't have to sell them the comic book. But don't come in and say you can't sell that comic book because of X. So that was kind of the idea behind the hot dog stand. Is okay, you're gonna have people lined up waiting for their hot dog, putting in their order. We're waiting for the hot dog and everything. Well, Bear kind of came across the Cyberfrog thing the other day, and Bear, we forgot. I forgot about this. It was supposed to come out, I think, in May or June, something like that. It was supposed to come out. Now I think it's going to be in September, probably. I doubt it's going to be in. I really doubt. I want to put money on this that it's not going to be out in September. I just doubt that it's going to be out in September. So you basically went from, what was it, March? I think when they started it was March of last year. So you went a year. Probably going by Cyberfrog #1, probably a year and a half before you're finally. I mean, at least for Bear, it was a year and a half because we were waiting on the frickin' ash cans and everything. Oh my god! But anyways, so if you're sitting there, you put your money down on the counter at the old hot dog stand, waiting for the hot dog, and you say, "Uncle E, give me the best hot dog made out of frogs you can." And you wait, 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 and you wait. And you wait, and you wait. And if Comicsgate was a hot dog stand, if Cyberfrog was a hot dog, you would have starved to death. You would have died on the street of hunger. Because Comicsgate is not a hot dog stand. Because, hey, look, guys, if you want to complain about Mitch all you want, go right ahead. But if you wanted to, and I know this is a bugaboo with a lot of people, but if you wanted to, you can go right down into Walmart right now and pick up a copy of Red Rooster. You're not going to, it might be a bad analogy there, but you're not going to be waiting forever. You can go out there and get it, as opposed to putting your money in last year for Cyberfrog and you're still waiting on it. Yes, I know that's a bad analogy because we're still waiting on the actual Red Rooster book and everything. General idea. Let me put it this way. How about Bass Reeves? You want to go get Bass Reeves? You can go get Bass Reeves right now. You don't have to wait for it or anything like that. So that would be the sort of customer, your customer sort of relationship to it. So, you go up to your hot dog stand, you put down your money, you say, I want that sort of hot dog. It says, here it is, and you get the hot dog. Or maybe it's like the guy in the commercial. It's just a really wet teddy bear. I'm not understanding of that commercial, but anyways, he has a wet teddy bear in like a Geico commercial or something like that. But anyways, so that there you can actually get something. Put money down, get something back. It's great. It's great. What we're doing here is, depending on how you want to describe it, and I'll go back to you here. Who said that about the director and the producer? But basically, kind of the thing is your artists are your directors. So they're the ones with the vision. They're the ones that are going to go do whatever the story kind of calls for. Producers are the ones that are saying, okay, I believe in that vision, and I believe that vision is going to be well received, and I believe that vision, in some cases might be profitable. I might make money off of this. Wah-ha-ha-ha-ha-ha. So you put down your money ahead of time, and you're investing in it because you're waiting on your book for 6 months, a year and a half, what is it in Red Rooster's case? 2 years, 2.5 years, something like that. You're still waiting on all that sorts of stuff. So there's a little bit of a difference there. Had to take a drink. All right, let's see. Just ketchup and mustard on. Oh, gross. And a wheat bun. A wheat bun. How dare you? No, there's only one correct answer, and that's mustard. Damn it. Darn it. Sorry, P Money. May or may not. I don't know. I just had a thought as Antarctic Press done anything. People have talked about this since. Antarctic Press done anything. Two people who make. I don't understand that, but I don't know. I don't know, P Money. Who's gonna bet against that? That's true. That's true. I think you're talking about the Cyberfrog thing. Yeah, that kind of. Bear didn't really realize that. I was reading through the email and okay, it's gonna be out in September. I'd forgotten that it was gonna be out in May. So yeah, there you go. There you go. I think it had something to do with Well, I don't know. I think a lot of time got spent on the PVC toy. I mean, I don't really understand the PVC toy. I don't. Obviously, there's a demand for it and everything, but it wasn't a Cyberfrog. Salamandroid PVC toy. I'm not sure. Let's see. Canadian Walmarts don't have Red Rooster. Well, I didn't know Canada had Walmart. There you go. All right. I was hungry, and because I didn't get my food from the insert comic creator card in a reasonable time, I took my money to another card. Well, if they allowed you to do that. I mean, some places they don't allow you to do the refund. I would love to get a refund on Sovereign. I really honestly don't think we're ever going to see Sovereign. I don't think so. I actually most got Red Rooster because I wanted Liz's autograph. Oh, there you go. There you go. So the producer is Marvel Comics. The director is Ethan. I'm not sure if that's a direct analogy because I don't think Ethan is putting out anything through Marvel Comics. I would say we are the producers if you got Cyberfrog, and the director. It's his idea. It's his vision. It's his the whole shebang. I mean, really, if you're trying to compare it with a movie. It'd be the director of photography, your sound guy, definitely the catering, all this other stuff as well. So it's a little bit more than just the director, hat that he's filling. They're filling a lot of hats. That's why we were talking a little bit about, fulfillment and everything. They've actually got to distribute it as well. That's a whole other big thing. So a little bit of a difference there, but that's why I kind of consider, the Comicsgate people producers or backers. I mean, kind of either way you want to describe it there. And that's where I think some of the kind of conflict comes in is a lot of the creators aren't, what we were talking about earlier, responsive enough to some of the demands because they perceive people as either consumers who are just, kind of a notch, or, a mark on the ledger there, or a customer who's just coming up for the hot dog. Well, no, we're investing in your hot dog stand. You don't have anything right now to do the hot dog. You don't even have the cart. You don't even have the buns. You don't have anything. So we're going to put in some money. We're going to make sure you can get the buns. Make sure you can get mustard. We don't need that ketchup. But definitely the buns and the hot dogs and definitely the mustard. Maybe a soda or two on the side. And trying to get that out because you know that guy, that great hot dog artist there. He's got the best hot dogs around. You've been around the block. You've seen the corporate hot dogs and everything. They're terrible. They're terrible. Who knows how many pig anuses are in there? Insert comic book artist X here. He doesn't put pig anus in there. It's nothing but quality in there. It's nothing but kosher. I tell you what. So that's what you want to go for. I think the basic thing is, hey, I want something to consume. I want something to, either eat or read in this case. But at the same time, you also want to promote that as well. You want to say, hey, geniuses over there at Marvel or DC, hey, I'm not buying your comic books because it sucks. Sorry, P-Money, because it stinks. And not only that, I'm taking my money and putting it over here, your direct competitor. So I think there's a sort of message that can be sent there as well. Some people want to say virtue signaling. I suppose it's a little bit of a virtue signal, but hey, sometimes some virtues are better than others, and I'd like to think that our virtues are a little bit better. All right, might just give my copy away. Not even I don't even which one? Which one, Marco? Which one? Which one here? I'm not sure. Are you talking about? Red Rooster? I hope not. I hope not. Hey, if you do give it away, I would like to. I try to do this, sometimes, annually, but this year's been kind of hit or miss here a little bit. But if you want to go back, check out some of the previous videos. Bear donated a lot of the review copies of what he was doing. A lot of times, Bear will get two comics, and we'll review one and kind of put one aside. So he's got the one here. But hey, if you want to give something away, try consider doing kind of like a library or something like that, or something in your community, something where somebody might get some enjoyment out of it. You might not get some enjoyment out of it, but hey, somebody else might have. Might come across and say, oh, hey, that Mitch Biteweiser's not too bad. Hey, I saw that in a Walmart somewhere, so let me check that out. So anyways, that might be kind of an option for you. All right. My throat. The pollen is getting better, but trying to talk for an hour, I tell you. You try and growl for an hour. It's gonna get your throat. All right, let's sing the "Gonna Be Late" song. It's gonna be late, gonna be late. I think it may be all those side books. Okay, I keep meaning to get to this, and it's kind of at the end of the. I wish I could show you my list here, but I don't have it. I think you're very smart in avoiding Sovereign. I want to get to this. Let's see. If Comicsgate is a hot dog stand, then what does the veggie dog represent? Interesting. It would be. Oh well, it might be the sort of anti-Comicsgate people. I don't know. You saw the what was it? The fools there. The Centurion people. What was the name of that? The Hail Caesar people. I mean, they were all big into that, and then they got their comic, and then now they're on the outs, and I don't know how well their comic is doing. So maybe they're the veggie dog or something like that. Okay. Let's see. Marco for Anthony says, had that conversation with someone. Sure enough, we're interested in a product's creation, but I think most people are still expecting something to be made in a certain amount of time. I need to not read you guys' comment and just kind of jump into it. Same thing with the business world. Might be just me. No. It's not just you. Not really caring about the chicken book anymore. Well, again, if that's your opinion on that. I think the art's going to be fine in there. I think it's going to be really good. I hope it's in a bigger, a bigger book than the floppies are in. I hope it's kind of in. Well, I know it's going to be in a hardcover, but I hope it's a little bit bigger. Yeah. Hey, try. If it's something that you don't like, hey, you can make a video on it and say, hey, this is the worst thing ever. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, what. You can't send it back right now. You're not going to be able to get your money out of it or anything like that. And it's kind of one of the things. You again. This is an investment. It's not a consuming, although you're consuming at the very end. Trying to burp here, but it's it is an investment. Like I said, Sovereign. That's a kind of a that's money is gone. I don't expect to see that again. But let me get to what I was going to talk about here. Paul and Yuck. I really don't get mad at people being late. It just means that I won't be buying another book from them until I get the previous comment. I think that's a good place to kind of start, because one of the things that Beer wanted to talk about briefly, I didn't want to go for an hour and a half here, so I'm going to try and do this briefly. Might kind of come back with another video Wednesday and kind of jump right on into it that way. But let me try this out here. So I have kind of a idea about I guess a code of conduct, maybe. It's not something that would be, a hard and fast thing. It wouldn't be something that you would have to sign, sign on the dotted line or you're not Comicsgate or anything like that. I don't think that's a good way to go about that sort of stuff. But I think if you kind of look at it, if you look at the sort of Comicsgate thing, you had kind of version 1.0. You kind of had a lot of the, I guess, critics, people that were talking about the Marvel and the DC, and even some of the independent comics. Your boy Zach would be kind of right there up there, kind of commenting on that sort of stuff, and then said, "Hey, instead of critiquing it, let's try and do our own here. Let's try and do our own." And he had his issues there as well, but finally got around to making and producing his comic, and then that kind of started what I would call kind of a Comicsgate 2.0, where it was a lot of the artists in there. So you look at Comicsgate now, and Uncle Lee, Cecil's not an artist, but Cecil, Dan Fraga, Archie Bear, you go down the list. Go down the list of all these people. It's a majority artist situation. You can make some exceptions. Eric Letters too much. Eric Weathers. There was I think a Sweetcast episode where they were trying to do like interviewing quote unquote the Hut, and it was Von Klaus, and he kept calling Eric Weathers Eric Letters too much, and that's always stuck for Bear. So so you have kind of side things on there, but it's mainly an artist kind of thing, and I think there needs to be a Comicsgate 3.0, and I'm not volunteering myself, believe me. Bear is just one bear here, but sort of a back to the roots of the, again, however you want to describe it, customer, consumer, producer, backer, that sort of deal, holding these people to account, so again, like you have a late book and everything. I wouldn't come out with the with the I'm trying to say it here, the torches and pitchforks. I was trying to say pitches and torchforks. Well, that could work too. I wouldn't come out with that. I wouldn't come out, with blood in the eyes. How dare you be late and everything? But, do try to keep that to account. So you would want to have sort of a CG code of conduct. So I just kind of wrote a couple of things down here, and, tell me if you agree or disagree, and maybe we can get into a little bit more detail, either a little bit later, maybe a next episode or something like that. But what he had written down, the CG code of conduct. Well, the first thing you want is your respect of, however you want to describe it, your customers, your consumers, your producers, however you wish to describe it. I would say backers or producers, because there's a little bit more going on than just a customer, hand over $1, get something back sort of deal. You're really investing, it not necessarily in the product, but in the artist and in the outcome. So I would say, the respect for that would be number one. Getting to the issue of the day, timeliness. So if you say that it's going to take me a year to complete a book, it better be done within a year. So if it was supposed to come out in May, I'm using Cyberfrog 2, for example, here. Hey, bring it out in May. And if there's a reason why it's not in May, then there definitely should be a good reason. Now, last year there was a whole host of reasons, and we all know why a lot of this stuff was late. If Bear wasn't the first channel to talk about it, he was one of the first channels to talk about how the issues over in China with, the Wu flu was going to cause printing problems. And in addition to that, you also saw the shipping times. I mean, we had that ship in frickin' the Suez Canal that got blocked. So, imagine your comics were on that, or maybe on one of the other ships that were waiting. So now that gets delayed. And, then you had all the printer issues with all that stuff going down and everything. So there was a whole host of reasons why last year I wouldn't be too critical of a lot of the people that are late last year. Now, they should be able to come up pretty quickly this year. I think we're going to get a whole bunch of stuff here in the spring, summer that's going to be coming from stuff that should have been released last year. And that's kind of what we were talking about in the last video, so if you want to check that out, go right ahead. So timeliness, definitely come out with that. And if it doesn't come out on time, then hold them to account. Hold them to account for that. The third thing, something Bear's kind of been kind of beaten on for a little bit a while here is value. And that can go two ways. It could go two ways. It could go, am I spending is the book worth $25 or $35? In some cases it might be. I mean, it might be perfectly bound. It might have the nice cover or something like that on there. However you wish to describe value in your book, you might have that. But also cost as well. Is it really worth $35 when the book might be, reasonably priced for, I don't know, 10 to 15 maybe? So is that value worth it for an investor, if you will? Think of the stock. Think of a stock. Is a stock price overpriced? If you went to go buy Tesla right now, is Tesla a good investment for you? It might be overpriced. It might be undervalued. You might make a whole lot of money off of that. And listen to me. Bear is not giving any financial advice. Do not listen to Bear for financial advice. But, kind of the general theme or the general thinking is, hey, you get a Cyberfrog book or you get book X, whatever. The hope is, with DC and Marvel and all these other places kind of dying off and everything, that, hey, some of these first run, second run Comicsgate books might actually kind of come up in value. So, hey, you might be putting down $35 for a book, but it might be worth $50 somewhere down the line. So that might be something that's worth for you. Or they could flood the market, and down the line it couldn't be worth anything, or they keep repeating the same cover and everything. I think one of the great ideas with Malin is he's taken the first set of books from the Graveyard Shift, all the ones that he has left, and he's going to burn them. So I mean that first supply of stuff is going to be even more and more rare. So again, it's not one of those things that you want to go into a comic book to invest or anything like that. You want to invest in the people, and hopefully, again, you hope that the cultural situation works itself out where, hey, everybody's going to want those books, and that's a great value. That's a great deal for you. So that's the third thing that Bear was talking about. Respect to the customer, a timeliness, a value. I forget who was talking about the stretch goals. I think the value in the stretch goals versus something that is just kind of fluff material. Bear's still not sure what to do with the trading cards. I don't know who to trade them to. Who do I trade cards to? I need to make a video on that of how to trade cards and stuff like that. But some of that stuff's okay. You get the different artists with the their different options as well. That's nice to look at. But some of the stuff, some of the stretch goals are kind of, I don't know, kind of silly and stuff like that. I'd rather see, if it reaches to a certain point, I like some of the stuff where the artist is paying the other, your letterer or your colorist or something like that. Give them a little bit of bonus. I think that's a little bit more worthwhile than a bookmark per se or a sticker. I don't think I've used a sticker on anything. They're all still in the box. So I don't know how well of a either a value or if it's just kind of fluff of some of those stuff. And then finally, I would say on the flip side of it, the CG Code of Conduct is some of the stuff where, you don't want to make a unreasonable request to some of the artists. You don't want to say, okay, I want a 150-page book for $5, and it's got to be perfectly bound and chromium cover and all that sort of stuff. If you don't do that, I'm going to go onto my YouTube channel and I'm going to rip you a new one. You want to have both ends of the spectrum. You want to have respect from the what I'd call the artists, and you want to have respect from the producers towards the artist. Because, at the end of the day, we all want success. We all want the book to come out. We all want to enjoy ourselves reading the book and saying, hey, you know what? I had a little bit of a part in that. Some people actually have their names in the back of the book there, which, puts a little star on their cap or something like that to be able to say, hey, I did that. And that's, maybe sometimes that's the only thing that people want is just, hey, a little bit of recognition, a little bit of credit and some, something like that. So those were kind of the four things that Bear came up with real quickly as kind of a CG code of conduct of saying, okay, I don't mind investing in your book would you be willing to do these 4 things? Well, 3 things. Well, 4 things plus the customer thing. I guess that'd be 5, but that's on our part. That's on our part. So I think trying to get some of the artists just kind of sign, don't take Bears. I mean, this isn't something that, Bears trying to promote or anything like that. Just kind of as a general concept, not, you must, you must do Bears bidding here. Just some of the code of conduct, because like, okay, so Sovereign, late as heck. So I think we can write off Andrew Huerta on the CG code of conduct. I think we can write off what's his name, the one that stole everything, Critias. I think we can write off Critias because the one thing you don't want to do is take your customers when your producer's money when you're trying to make a book and spend it on other books and lifestyle stuff. That's terrible. So I would take Critias and just give him the old heave ho out of Comicsgate because again, there's nothing to say you can't call yourself Comicsgate and anything like that, but it'd be kind of like the little better Business Bureau thing up in the corner window or up in the web page of some business or something like that. Just kind of something that says, hey, these people are on track. They're doing all right, as opposed to some of the other people. So, all right, let me take a drink and then we'll read some chats here. I was about to say super chats, but Bear does not get super chats. He doesn't. I would definitely accept salmon as a super chat. All right, there's a whole bunch. Oh my goodness, people. There's a whole bunch of let me see what I can get back to. Let's see. Marco for Anthony says, somewhat agree. I'm not mad either. I'm just patient as long as they at least update. I agree. When they don't, though, it makes me not ever want to come back. That's true. Better word is disappointment. Yeah. And I think going through, we had kind of the first run of people, and then, the people that started to kind of latch on to some of that stuff, and some of them worked, some of them didn't. And then now we've got kind of the third batch of people kind of coming in. So we've got kind of a track record. Got a little bit of a track record of some people. Gosh, do I want to go there? What's the deal with the cat book? I have no idea what the heck the cat book is all about. The one with the cats floating in space and stuff like that. I thought it was kind of a parody at first. I thought it was like, oh, okay, we're parodying this sort of. It looks like it's legitimately made for like 6 and 7-year-old girls. Like I don't understand. Maybe some of the people are putting it in for daughters or nieces or something like that. But I'm not trying to say anything bad about the book. I just don't understand it anyway. So that's a side jaunt. All right. That word tastes right, just like my hot dog with ketchup and no, not ketchup and mustard. P-Money says, I'll tell you what, I don't like seeing customers say, I'll never buy from this person again. Fine, don't buy from them, but why is it so important that everyone knows you won't? Well, again, that kind of comes back to the sort of code of conduct, I suppose. Maybe they felt that whatever their personal code of conduct was, maybe they felt that they broke it. And, again, you're virtue signaling. Is that a good virtue or a bad virtue? It's something you can decide. But, I never go back to Bears reviews. There's been I could probably count on 2 claws of the number of comic books that Bear says, I'm never gonna buy that one again. Other than, some of the stuff that hasn't come out. Andrew Huerta, that sort of stuff. All right. No different from reviewing or other product or service. Depends on why the person is making that statement. Marco for Anthony. Okay. I do like Eric Letters too much. It's funny. If it's some legitimate reason, fine. If it's this person sucks or throwing out unsubstantiated accusations that I don't care for. So that I would go back to kind of your fifth sort of code of conduct of Bear's code of conduct. If I can pronounce it. Let me get something to drink here. Code of conduct. Urgh. So it was saying, that the customers, shouldn't be, well, customers, producers, backers shouldn't be unreasonable. And that would go again for saying, hey, I think my book is late. Hey, I didn't like the artwork. Hey, the lettering was all off. Those are legitimate complaints, and I think that's something as a customer, if you will, going to the hot dog person that we have here and saying, hey, I didn't like the lettering in there. They can at least give them an opportunity to come back and say, oh, yeah, we had this letter. We're going to switch over. We're going to do another letter. Here's what it looks like. Hey, if you like it, great. If you don't, I appreciate your business and that sort of deal. This sort of shaming and this sort of, I'll never come back. That's kind of where I would put in the sort of don't be unreasonable. So, there's a give and take. There's a give and take here. And again, there could be more points to this. Bear just came up with 5 points. So, all right. I think every comic needs at least the option to go digital. I would disagree with that. Until probably, well, yes and no. Yes and no. I think on maybe the second book, I think that would be a kind of a good thing. So you can kind of get kind of like what Mike Miller's doing with Lone Star. Use the first book as kind of a promotion for the second or third book, and that way you're not getting into a whole lot of issues with piracy and stuff like that. One of the things that Bear tries to do on some of the reviews, haven't done one in a while, but some of the in-depth reviews that he's doing is at least putting in there, at least his marker or something like that. So he's trying not to say, hey, this is my work or anything like that. So. I'd be worried a little bit about piracy and stuff like that. Oh, just make the book an NFT. Yeah, there we go. All right. The shipping is just too insane sometimes, so digital is completely necessary for me. Yeah. Yeah. That's the tough one. That's the tough, especially if you're in a different country and everything. I think there was a book. Gosh, it was a while back. I think it was Merry Boys. He was Merry Boys, if I'm not mistaken. The guy was in England, so he was an English artist and was trying to sell. So there was like a $15-20 upcharge for the shipping, and I think the book was only $15 or $20. So it was like double the price there. So there's some stuff that needs to be figured out as far as shipping, especially overseas. I think again, I think you got a lot of these disparate artists trying to herd cats and everything. And I think just kind of coming together and, at least kind of coming up with some of the same shipping companies maybe, or some of the same fulfillment companies, and at least coming to the company in question, fulfillment, shipping, whatever, and saying, okay, you might want to finish or fulfill my book, but I've got 3 or 4 down the line that would love to work with you guys. If you guys can work with us and maybe lower the price a little bit as far as kind of a CG bulk discount. There we go. So, again, that's some stuff that kind of needs to be worked out. Again, where you have people that, not necessarily PR people, but just definitely people come in and kind of help out some of the people. That would be kind of in the line of some of the clerical stuff that Bear was talking about. So, all right. My family made a card game with all my trading cards. Oh, that's cool. Let's see. What is my opinion on stretch goals for adding pages to books? I think that's fine. I think that's a good stretch goal. I as long as it's, hey, I had an idea for something and it should have been a 2-page, but I had to kind of switch it in. But if you guys can reach this goal, yeah, we can make it a 2-page. I don't think that just adding pages just to add pages is a good idea. You want it to be as crisp and as clean. You want it to be able to read quickly. Even Narwhal's book, I mean, God, that was 100 and some odd pages. It read fast. So there's differences between page numbers and how quickly it reads. But yeah, I wouldn't just go in there just saying, hey, we're going to add 20 pages to the book. Why are you adding 20 pages to the book? Some of the ones where they add in the fan art. Oh, that's great. Bear always loves some of the fan art at the very end, or the different art, or maybe kind of a look ahead or something like that. Those are always good. But just kind of a basic, Hey, we're gonna add 10 pages to it just because. Yeah. Let's see. Do they play this card game on motorcycles like Yu-Gi-Oh? Yu-Gi-Oh! Here's something with all these Titan and Earthworm gem cards. I wish. Yes. Bear has his Earthworm gem trading cards, and no idea what to do. The left foot of fellowship. Yes, indeed. All right. Let me bring this over so I can read it, because I'm gonna kind of wrap it up here. I'm trying to do maybe about an hour or so, and then the good thing. All right. Let's see. I got the opinion. You could go Earthworm Gem. The foot of it. I will say that one of the coolest things to come out of all this is the fact that some of these great creators know about me. There you go. Enough that I can DM Mike, and he sometimes asks, "How's the wife? How's the kids?" Again, you hate to kind of put it this way, but customer. He wants to know what the customer wants, so he can provide that. And I think that's a great thing. Whereas a consumer, hey, so-and-so artist, blah, 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 blah. And you get the form response back, or maybe not a response at all sort of deal. So, yeah, I think a lot of that interaction. And again, that goes back to, you're not going up to the hot dog stand and putting down money and getting the hot dog back. You're going to the hot dog vendor and saying, we're going to help you sell hot dogs out of your vending platform here. So there's a little bit more of a coordination between the backer, the producer, and the artist. So, all right. How's the wife? How's the kids? True money. Oh, there we go. Oh man. Let's see. Same with the rest of the group. Kevin, Costin, yep. And the other Matt. Oh God. Peanut butter. Weldon. Starlight Katz. Thank you. Yes, I wanted Shane's autograph, but the book just doesn't look that. Can somebody tell me what the heck that book is about? I have no freaking clue. Seriously. I mean, I saw that and it was like $100,000, and it's like, oh, okay, all right. Extra pages are fine, but sometimes doing that causes delays. There you go. So again, fan art, that sort of deal. I think that would be the way to go with it. Fan art editions are cool. Yes, indeed. All right. Let's see. I'm going over my notes here. I had the X-rays from Uranus. I had humor in Marvel movies. I even had the Red Rooster April Fool's joke that nobody thought was funny, but except for Bear. Bear thought it was kind of funny. And we were talking about the sole proprietor versus it's sort of indirect access that you get from your corporations sort of deal. So it's a little bit more closer, like P Money was saying. Hey, DM Mike real quick, and he's asking about, hey, how's the wife, how's the kids, that sort of deal. That's great. And then we just kind of quickly went through the CG code of conduct. Kind of just something that Bear was kind of toying around with a little bit here. Just trying to figure out kind of what that sort of would look like. Kind of what's something that everybody can kind of agree on, and kind of figure out how to make Comicsgate a little bit better. I think we do need to transition just a little bit from the artist-centric model that we have now to a little bit more of kind of a customer, producer. You want to have a little bit of that feedback. You want to be able to say, okay, here's what the artist has to say. Well, what is somebody who's gotten the artist's work? What do they have to say about it? Might be bad. You never know. But I think we need to kind of pull. The pendulum has went one way, and it needs to kind of come back just a little bit the other way, and we'll have a nice little equilibrium, and everybody will get. Dogs and cats will be playing together and everything. Let's see. All right. P Money says, and you and Bear and Marco for Anthony. I like having people I can talk to about these comics. Yes, indeed. I remember opening one of my Comicsgate books at work, and one person actually said, "You still read comics?" Well, that's kind of one of the things. We're looking out over the media landscape. Where would you fit in? Movies? I don't think so. Even novels and books. I mean, that's really going sort of, far, far left. Music's pretty well gone. There's a lot of stuff that's pretty well gone. I've said it before. Comicsgate is sort of the last redoubt of a lot of I won't call it Western civilization or anything like that, but just a lot of our cultural heritage and sort of stuff like that. That's pretty much it. So that's why Bear isn't very quick to jump on sort of the anti-Comicsgate bandwagon, or jump on the sort of I hate Ethan, I hate Mitch Breitweiser, where's my book, gosh darn it, blah 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 blah. It's hard. I mean, this is difficult stuff. Look, all sorts of stuff could have done a lot better. We've went through the Red Rooster thing 100 different times. I mean, glad that Mitch is able to, make his company and everything, but he should have got the book out a whole lot sooner. That should have been his focus, but it wasn't. So that's a legitimate complaint. I mean, I don't think that I think even Mitch would say, yeah, that's a legitimate complaint. So, those things are fine. Those things are fine. But again, where else do a lot of people have to go? So I think that's a lot of the reason that Bear's really trying to focus in on, promoting a lot of the Comicsgate stuff, because really there's not a whole lot left out there, and the wolves are out there. Bear could fight the wolves, but not a whole lot of people want to. Not a whole lot of people want to. All right, Marco for Anthony says same. It's nice to. Hey, you know what? It is nice to have Marco for Anthony, P Money, just about anybody to come in here, even if you disagree with Bear. I don't care if you disagree with Bear. That makes a good conversation. But yeah, we try to have a meeting place, a general place to kind of come together and just talk about all this stuff. Look, we don't always have to talk about comics. Heck, the first thing that I started out with is X-rays and Uranus. So, we can always have fun with this sort of stuff. It's actually kind of nice to kind of get back to some of the funny news stories and everything. Bear kind of went off on a little side jaunt there, kind of talking about his screenplay and everything. So, hey, one of those things. I mean, I appreciate you guys coming out and listening to that story, even if you guys might not like it or anything like that. Hey, I appreciate you guys even just listening. That's cool. Let's see. Has some original art and pages hanging up at work. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I need to get the camera back up, and I was gonna frame one of the pictures, one of the pieces of original art. I think it might be Weldon's Calvin and Hobbes piece. I really like that piece. He says, I'm on the I'll back what I want wagon. Yes, indeed. I don't know what phrasing is. Bear agrees to disagree and start conversations with Uranus. I'll remember that. Yes, indeed. Oh, yes. The X-ray is coming out of Uranus. Yes. All right. And oddly enough, there is a thing when you talk about nuclear medicine. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's kind of one of the things that Bear kind of wants to start to do, is kind of put out some stuff. I still need to kind of work on the sort of studio that we're trying to work out here. I tell you what, just very briefly, let's see, within the past 2 months, past 3 months, let's see, I've tried to do two different setups on the studio here. So we're still trying to figure that out. Oh boy, I tell you what, Bear keeps getting moved around. I was looking forward to, I don't know if you saw some of the stuff from last year, but we were legitimately outside, out in the woods and everything. And, I can't really get to that stage right now, so that's kind of bust. And the other place, that's a little bit of a bust right now. So, yeah, we're hanging in there a little bit. I'm glad there's not a whole lot of box openings, because I gotta figure out how to do that. But anyways, that's a little bit why we're doing some of the live streams here. All right. Oddly enough, there's a yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think with that, oh lordy, let me take a drink. But we all agree Bear is a monster. Oh, good Lord. I will never live that down. Make in a cave? Yes, in the cave. Yes. I hope there's not a whole lot of echo in here. We kind of steal the Wi-Fi from the local neighbors there, kind of a lack security, just a little bit. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, on that note, I think we're going to go ahead and, how long have we been doing this? Almost an hour and a half. I tell you what, we try and do this just for an hour, keeps you getting dragged into more time. I tell you what, you guys try and growl like a bear for an hour and a half. Oh, it's not easy. Not easy at all. All right, justice for sushi. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, can we do the? Is there a? Yes, there is. Look at there. Let's see. Let me do this. How do we do this? Yep. Nope. No, I want to go the other way. Yes, there we are. Justice for sushi. I would never live that down. Never live that down. But you know what? You kind of figure out that you've kind of made a decent character, you know, in your hour and a half long screenplay when people just can't forget that you've killed them off. How dare you? How dare you, sir? All right. Well, once again, everybody, I do appreciate you guys coming out in our kind of little community here to talk about all sorts of stuff. I tell you what, everything from X-rays to hot dogs. I hope next time to have a little bit more of a little bit more pictures and everything to kind of go along with. I apologize about it being just this poor fellow with his hot dog cart. I'm sure that's not very great to look at for an hour and a half, but I do appreciate you guys. Thank you, P Money. You take care as well. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I want to thank everybody for coming out. We're trying to do this every Saturday and Wednesday, so hopefully we're going to see you guys on Wednesday. But until then, got to say, everybody out there, have a happy Easter. Enjoy your Easter tomorrow. And we'll see you tomorrow. Or tomorrow, listen to me. I hope you have a great tomorrow. We'll see you on Wednesday. I'll talk to you later, Marco for Anthony. And until next time, people, Bear's going to head back into the woods. So until next time, people. Grrrrr!